There you go, mate. Well, our rod race continues and it's brought us here to Wales, near the town of Usk. This is Llandegfedd Reservoir. And talk about fishing meccas, this place is absolutely amazing. It first shot to fame in the 1980s when they allowed a series of pike fishing experiments to take place here. And this is the place that first brought to the attention of a whole nation of pike anglers the potential of trout waters when it comes to pike fishing. And Mick, it was revolutionary, wasn't it? It was amazing.
It had to be. There was 4 40-pounders caught. I mean, nothing's happened like that before, and not since either.
Gareth Edwards came here, the Welsh rugby player. He broke the record first.
Yeah.
And then this place still holds the record now with a fish caught by a guy called Roy Lewis at 46 pounds, 13 ounces. Now that is a mother of a pike. Anyway, let's get on.
Yeah.
We've brought along some help. We've got a guy here called Dave Kelbrick. Mick and I have known him for a few years, and Dave has done quite a lot of fishing on Llandegfedd recently, so he knows the water really well, and that'll be good actually, because the fish will be fairly localised, and a bit of expert help won't go amiss. But we'll get the boat loaded first, and then we'll have a chat to Dave. There you go.
Dave knows a lot about this water, and he's had fish over 30 pounds from there.
Nearly there,
Mate,
mate.
the boat's sinking, mate.
Piddling bucket.
There's no room for you, mate.
Right, let's go and have a chat with Dave then. So, pike, well, the record currently stands at £46, 13 ounces to a fish caught in 1992 from Llandegfedd Reservoir in Wales. Now, I'm here at the Natural History Museum in London. I've got with me Nigel Hewlett. Nigel works for the Environment Agency and the British Record Fish Committee. Nigel, if you look back in history, there are fantastic stories about these monster pike that stir everyone's imagination. Do you believe them?
No, frankly, but in terms of getting really big pike, I think there's 2 major factors that really count. One is they need lots of food and plenty of good nutrient, and the second is neglect. They need a limited amount of angling or leaving alone, which is probably where a lot of these legends generate from, the mystery of where these big pike are.
And that really leads us to the trout reservoirs, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Trout reservoirs are a perfect place for big pike. They have lots of food available for them. It's good nutrient value, and actually access to pike fishing is very limited on them. So when people do go, these big fish, like the current record, turn up.
Well, Nigel mentioned the word neglect, and of course the record hasn't been broken since 1992, although things are changing all the time. And you know, if you were going to break the record, what better place to try than the place that's already broken it several times over, Llandegfedd Reservoir in Wales. What I like is the contrast between the 2 boats. There's ours over there and yours, Dave, which actually looks amazingly professional. Well done.
Well, you've got the vintage 1988 boats and I've got the newer model, but
It looks the business, mate.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, how are you, Dave?
Okay, Matt, how are you?
Now,
Good
this
to see
to
you,
anybody
mate.
that
Yeah.
doesn't know, this is Dave, the Urias Kelbrick, and we call him the Urias because up in Chester they don't say areas, they say Urias. And he knows the Urias where all the pike live, don't you, Dave?
Hopefully,
Which
mate.
is why we've got you along here, because we need someone to show us a few spots. So, what do you think of our chances, mate?
I reckon we've got a good chance today, Matt, to be honest. This ripple will help because it is bright, but with a bit of luck we should be into some decent fish. I don't see why not.
Yeah, but, I mean, the level's down, what, it looks about 20 foot down. How's that going to affect the fishing?
It's actually 18 foot down, and this time last year it was 30 foot down. We had some big bites, 31, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, that at all.
You did very well, didn't you?
So, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
What about the algae in the water, Dave?
That doesn't seem to bother them here, and you probably find that a lot of the fish will take subdued coloured lures as well, even though it's coloured water.
Now, you've done a lot of fishing here on this reservoir, but saying earlier on to Mick, I mean, we had trouble sleeping because the excitement of coming to this place, does it still get you that way?
Yeah, I still get that buzz when I'm going pike fishing anyway. It's just a bit of excitement there. And you never know what you're going to catch, especially on a water like this that's thrown up British record.
So how would you rate it in comparison to the other places you go to?
I would say that this probably gives you the best chance of a really big pike, maybe 40 pounds or even a British record. So, to me, it's number 1.
Well, I think against that, we better get going, mate. I can't hang on any longer.
What are we waiting for?
Take us to the areas,
Okay,
my boy.
follow me.
Okay, Matt.
Follow that boat. Take me to the area.
Back in the this cloud. Better than that bright weather.
Hey Dave, blue and silver any good on here?
Yeah. Black and silver, all the dull colours to start with.
Yeah. Well, here we are. We're at the far end of the reservoir now. We're in about 23 feet of water. Dave tells us this is a really good area, and I believe, Mick, it was somewhere around here that the record pike came from.
It certainly is. It won't be far from here, and apart from that, it's produced several other 40-pounders. So this water has got the reputation for producing monsters.
Now we're gonna fish with lures because bait fishing is not allowed here. But all of the big fish reputedly have come on lures. I think there's been a bit of skullduggery in the past. But
well, there's always rumours, you know, amongst pike anglers about what might have happened and what might not have. But not so many years ago, people used to think that lures were a very poor second best, but that's totally changed nowadays. A lot of anglers now know that lures are as good as live baits or dead baits in the right situation.
Well, I can't wait, mate. I've got to cast in because this is going to be my first cast into the hallowed waters.
Anyway, I'm going to wish you good luck.
All right, mate.
I hope you get your personal best.
Yeah, so do I. And I hope you get yours as well.
This is the place to do it, I tell you.
OK, mate. We'll cast together. Isn't it a fantastic feeling, though, that with every turn of the handle,
Yeah.
the bump or the jag that you feel on the line,
Yeah.
it could be a monster
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, this isn't your everyday pike fishing. This is something very, very special, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Dave saw fish last time, certainly approaching 40 pounds.
Did he really?
When you think they're eating trout, anything from 2 to 6 pounds, it wouldn't take a lot to push them over to the record, would it?
No.
Oh, Matt!
Blimey, that must have been right under the boat.
Right next to the boat, yeah. Oh, it's only a small one.
Well, it's still a pike.
Yeah.
Ooh. Doesn't matter, mate, it's a Llandegfedd pike.
Oh, it's a right tiddler.
Well,
Must be the smallest one in here, I think.
pike is pike. A bit of action on an otherwise dour afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
Has it come off?
hang on.
I'll show you something interesting, though, Mick.
What's that?
Look at the mark round here. A bigger pike's
Yeah.
had a hold of that.
Yeah.
The one that you want to catch has actually been munching on that.
Yeah. So we've caught our first pike. Not a particularly big one, but we're off the mark anyway.
Well, Mick, if that was about 40 pounds bigger,
Yeah.
you'd have broken the record there,
Yeah.
mate. Very coloured, the water,
Yeah.
isn't it? Well, we've fished away all afternoon. It's been hard, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. The day's nearly gone
I
already.
know, but that fish just goes to prove you can fish and fish and
Yeah.
fish. Then all of a sudden, just you're going to lift your lure out, boom,
Yeah.
and could just as easily be £30 here, mate.
Yeah. But just my luck it wasn't.
Well, indeed,
Never mind, we just keep fishing. You never
mind,
know.
Michael. Can't all be monsters, Mick.
To be fair, we haven't been at it for too long, and we're not familiar with the water.
And I must admit, the first flush of nervousness has worn off now.
Yeah. Just take a while just to get settled in, doesn't it?
Yeah. Reality is now set in, mate.
Yeah.
These places are hard, aren't they?
They are, but it's like everywhere else. It's about locating the fish and being there when they're feeding. Well, we're having a flurry of fish now. We found a few on this corner here. It's only shallow water. Oh, it's not as big as I thought, but we're getting some action at last. I think this one could be a bit lively. I've brought him in quite quick.
Yeah, mate.
Hang on. As I said, he's a bit lively.
That was an understatement there, Mick. Well, that's a slightly bigger fish, Mick, isn't
Yep.
it? Gotcha.
Got him. Hey. Well, we've got a slightly bigger fish. This one's probably just into double figures. Taking on one of these soft plastic lures. The hook that's caught him is the single. The lure's got a single and a treble. He's just been nicked on the single. There's the lure that caught him. It's supposed to imitate a perch. Take a close look at him and get him straight back over the side. Nice looking fish. It's probably around the £10 mark. We're still after a big one, but I'm quite happy just to catch fish at the moment because it is quite hard going.
Look at the body shape, Mick. Now, that's a typical trout water fish, isn't
Yeah,
it?
typical trout water fish. Real big, fat, stocky body. What a nice looking pike. He's looking a bit ragged round the tail. I think He possibly might have been caught previously, but I'll give him just a little bit longer. No, it wants to go.
Ah, well done, mate.
Yeah.
They're going the right way anyway.
Yeah, while we get in there, keep going, you never know, we might get a big one. But what we are finding is that the pike are in quite shallow water. We've had a couple of missed fish, and we've had 2 now, and they're taking in this shallow area. It's only about 5 foot deep. And the lures that are being successful at the moment are these soft plastics. And being soft plastic, once they grab them, they feel quite natural and they don't let them go. And they hang on for a bit, just give you time to strike. The only trouble is they do tend to tear a bit, so I'm going to have to repair that one. I'm going to have to get a hot iron and just repair that. But we'll keep going, you never know, we might get a bigger one. It's getting towards that time in the evening now where there's a very good chance of a big fish. I'm going to get bait back in the water and quick. They seem to be in shallow water at the moment, eh?
Yeah, they do, yeah. Strange that, isn't it?
Well, I haven't seen any follows today, have you?
Not at all, no. You know, when your lure keels over on itself,
Yeah.
you know you've wasted a cast.
Yep. But now we've had a couple of hits, I've got a bit of confidence now for this area, so we'll come back in the morning and have another go.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan, actually.
I'm certainly going to carry on till dark. I wouldn't miss this time for anything, would you?
No, it's a good time.
Yeah. We're on our way again, hoping to get our hooks into a mammoth pike. You know, Matt, it's a sobering thought. On 2 occasions, someone has left that jetty there, gone up this lake and caught a record pike.
Well, let's just hope that the really big girls are feeding this morning. We didn't hook into any yesterday, but it could well be that at this time of year the pike are feeding in the morning, the big pike.
Yeah.
We got out late yesterday, we're much earlier today, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Step on the gas.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
Both the horses are pulling as hard as they can. Well, we're all ready, Matt. I've got the net in case we need it, the unhooking mat. All the tools are ready. Scales are in there, cameras there, slings there. I'm optimistic, you know. Right, Mr. Anchorman. Yeah.
Do you think it'd be harder with this flat calm today, Mick?
Oh, yeah, it will. It can't be a lot harder than you, This is classic Llandegfedd now. Look at the light and everything.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? Okay, Mick. Well, that was a load of old dangleberries, wasn't it?
It was, but that's fishing for you. You can make all the plans you like, but if the fish aren't cooperating, well, that's it.
We got out there early this morning. The conditions seemed all right, actually. But we tried all sorts of different depths. We tried lots of different types of lures. Not a sniff. So we've decided to take a break now. Maybe try and formulate a different action plan. It may just come down to feeding times. It could just be sheer old-fashioned luck, mate.
Well, that's what big fish angling's like, really. When you get the big fish you want, you're really high, but when it doesn't work like today, well, you can get very despondent, and that's the way we are at the moment.
We'll have another go in a bit.
Yeah.
We'll have another go. Well, this is it, boys. Last gas saloon now.
Yeah, it's been pretty hard going, actually, Matt. Harder than I expected, really, but I mean, the only clue we've got so far, I had them 2 fish yesterday, and they were in shallow water, very shallow water. We've tried the deep, we're not getting anything at all, are we?
No. I still think there's fish in the deep water.
Yeah.
Obviously a few fish lying shallow as well,
Yeah.
but like you say, the water temp's been very warm.
Yeah.
I think those fish in the deep water, they just lie in their doggo and
Yeah.
it's on their terms when they're ready to feed.
Yeah.
18 degrees, the water is 12 foot down. conditions have deteriorated now, haven't they? It's
I know.
a lovely day,
Yeah.
but that front's blown itself out, and
Yeah.
it's not the best piking weather, this.
No, I stick that out in the deep water. When you're not getting many bites, it's hard to know what to do, isn't it?
It's hard to keep your concentration,
Yeah.
actually. That's the problem. To put some feeling into it.
Yeah. Bites are hard to come by, aren't they?
Not half.
You often get people coming that fishing these trout waters is easy, and I've never found it easy.
I've never found it easy. Not then.
Well, I'm off bottom and I've just felt a little tap, but you never know whether a trout or a perch has a go at it there.
No.
This would be a great show if we were catching fish. wouldn't it? Whoa, Matt, I mean,
Oh no, it's a good fish as well, mate.
this is a good pike.
Great.
It's the third time we've been on this spot today, and this is what you come to Llandegfedd for. I thought it wasn't going to work, but my heart's absolutely going there. Feels a good heavy fish anyway.
Yeah, it's got a nice bend in your rod, mate. Obviously, it's a good one.
I don't believe this.
It's actually hooked in the back.
I don't believe this. I fell hooked here. I thought it was a good fight.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh, well. It's
I thought, Mick, I'll be honest.
not very big.
It's not a bad fish, mate. It's just that it's not hooked in the right place. Well, I can't get a bite today, Brownie, so it's all down to you, mate, I think. It's a really lively fish. Come here. Right, you hold that bit.
Okay.
I'm going to try and get her another jaw. Gotcha.
Well,
Proper one. What a place to hook it, Mick.
well, I think it just goes to show that they're not really feeding as we suspected. They're just sunbathing, and I just caught that one on his lounger.
Well, I can't get a bite, and you can't hook them in the right place.
No, no.
It's a boiling hot day. It's not the best pike fishing conditions, it has to be said. But there's a nice Llandegfedd pike for you. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Go on then, old girl.
Oh, well. On with the show. Well, I've repaired my lure, mate. Got the tail back on. At least we know there are fish lying there, even if they're not feeding. Decides to do the job properly.
Now, if you're going to fish a trout water for pike, you're generally fishing a large, deep reservoir. Of course, there are shallows. There are lots of different lures that will work, and you need to carry a selection with you. Here are a few of the ones that have worked for us in the past. Probably the simplest ones are things like spoons and spinners. Many a big pike fall into these, still continue to do so even to this day, and you can get them in all sorts of different colours and shapes. And then you've got things like jerk baits, largely made of wood and plastic. You get some that float like this one here and only achieve perhaps 2 or 3 feet deep even when you jerk the rod. And you've got others like this one here which go really deep and you can fish down in 20 or even 25 feet. You've got other lures that are kind of a cross in between normal plugs and jerk baits, things like this, that you literally just straight wind in and its tail's beating away behind it. And then you've got the plug, and it'll stay at the depth that you retrieve it at, so you can count it down into medium or deep water and just wind it back in and it will wiggle away quite enticingly. Then you've got plastics, and these have really taken the lure fishing world by storm in the last few years. This one here even looks like a rainbow trout. They're very easy to fish with. You just literally cast them out, let them sink to the bottom and wind them back in, but you do need heavy tackle to fish them on. And then you've got the smaller soft plastics, and it's worth saying that both Mick and myself have caught our biggest trout water fish over 30 pounds on quite small lures. Lures around 4 to 5 inches long, fished on a jig head like this. This is what we call a twin tail. You can get rubber fish as well, which are called shads, but basically they're quite small, soft plastic lures. But just because they're small doesn't mean to say they only catch small fish. In fact, quite often, the smallest pike attack the biggest lures. It's amazing, but that's sometimes the way it works. So you need a good selection of lures, and you also need the right sort of stuff to cast them on. Now, for spinners and spoons, you can use an ordinary fixed spool type outfit. This is a standard spinning rod. between 6.5 and 7 feet long. It's rated for lures between 10 and 40 grams. We've got a fixed spool reel loaded with 30 pounds braid. It's quite a simple outfit and it's perfect for the smaller lures. But if you want to fish the big stuff, then you've got to upgrade your kit. And you're talking about using big, powerful rods like this jerkbait rod. It's 6 feet long. It'll cast lures weighing up to 4 or even 5 ounces. And we fish it with a multiplier reel, an 80 or even 100 pounds braid, simply because of the shock on the cast. If you cast one of these really heavy lures and you get an overrun on your reel, it will crack off like braid. So you need the right kit to do the job. And at the moment, we've got all the gear and no idea.
He wanted that, Matt.
He did. Hey. Well done, Mick.
He wanted that one.
Cool, he really wanted it. Look at that, it's right down his throat almost.
Right.
It's going to jump.
Right. Wow, he's really swallowed that, mate.
Yeah, super. Well, I can't get a bite today, Mick. I've had one knock.
Well, it's not a big one, but it's another Llandegfedd pike. And it's been pretty hard going, hasn't it, Matt? But
I can't get a bite, mate.
the luck seems to be with me at the moment in terms of catching fish, but of course, Llandegfedd's got a lot more than this to offer. But we'll just keep flogging away at it, and you never know.
Well done, mate. Yeah, I think we'll have a cup of tea.
Yeah, I reckon it's time for a cup of tea, don't you, mate?
Yep.